In the vast, untamed lands of the American West, where the sun scorched the plains and the mountains cast long shadows over dusty trails, there was a small, isolated town called River Creek. Life in the town was hard, but simple. Ranchers tended their cattle. Miners searched for gold in the winding rivers, and the townspeople lived by a strict code of honor. Help your neighbor, respect the land, and never give in to fear. Among them was Jack Harrison, a young man in his mid-20s with a keen eye, a steady hand, and a heart that would not tolerate injustice. He had grown up in River Creek, learning the ways of the land from his father, a former sheriff. Jack was known for his courage, but also his cleverness. He preferred outsmarting opponents rather than rushing headlong into danger. One fateful afternoon, a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon. A gang of ruthless outlaws, led by the infamous Sullivan the Cruel McGraw, rode into town. Sullivan was a man feared across the West Cold, cunning and obsessed with wealth. He had learned of a rich gold vein in River Creek and intended to claim it for himself, using threats, intimidation, and violence. The townspeople trembled at first. Sullivan's gang was large, armed, and merciless. But Jack refused to bow. He gathered a small group of trusted friends: Tom, the sharpshooter; Eli, a skilled tracker; and Sarah, a courageous young woman with a matched resolve, and together they began plotting. They studied the gang's movements, learning the timing of their patrols and the weaknesses in their camp defenses. Jack knew that brute force alone would not win the day. Cunning, strategy, and courage would be the keys. Under the cover of night, Jack and his team struck. They set traps round the outlaws' camp, cut the ropes holding their horses, and created distractions to lure them into the open. The battle that followed was fierce. Gunfire shattered the quiet night. Echoes bounced off the mountains, and sparks flew from the friction of steel and stone. Jack dodged bullets, led ambushes, and coordinated his team with flawless precision. In the midst of the chaos, Jack confronted Sullivan face to face. The two men circled each other, tension thick in the cold night air. Sullivan sneered, confident he would overpower the young hero. But Jack was smarter. With a well-placed shot, he disarmed Sullivan, forcing him to surrender. By dawn, the dust settled. Sullivan and his gang were captured, bound, and turned over to the law. The gold was returned to the townspeople, who celebrated their victory not just as a triumph of wealth, but as a victory of courage, unity, and justice. Jack became a legend in River Creek, not for the battles he fought, but for the principles he stood by. He continued to protect the town, mentor the next generation, and ensure that River Creek remained a place where fairness, bravery, and cleverness triumphed over greed and cruelty. The story of Jack Harrison spread far and wide across the West, a timeless tale of courage and strategy, reminding everyone that even in the harshest lands, one person with wisdom, bravery, and a loyal team could change the course of history.